Alrighty, what is up, guys? We are here with my TNA review. Tonight is June 6th, and TNA just put on a fairly good show. I was impressed with it. It was just a normal TNA show. A couple of the matches caught my eye. Let's get into it. So we're starting off with what was Bully Ray, who came out and basically addressed the crowd and said, "Hey, I beat the Icon Sting. I defeated your hero. I should be the next TNA Hall of Fame inductee." Hulk Hogan comes out, says, "Well, brother, you haven't gone through everybody." And because of course Jeff Hardy made his return tonight, and Hulk Hogan ultimately set up a match, which was a WWE style match. You know WWE, how they do how they have the flag on a pole match, or like Undertaker, they used to have the bike on when he was the American Badass Undertaker, they had the what was it called, the biker chain on a pole match and things like that. Well, TNA did that, but to not copy WWE, they did basically a ladder match, and instead of grabbing a title or a briefcase, they grabbed a hammer, and you basically got to beat your opponent with it. Weird concept, but yeah. Next up, we had Hernandez facing off against Chavo Guerrero in the qualifying Bound for Glory matchup, and it was a good match. It went back and forth, and I thought Chavo was going to win it, but then at the same time I thought, hey, they're going to want a bigger guy to represent the team, a bigger name, which is Hernandez, and he ended up beating Chavo, both on good terms. It wasn't, the tag team wasn't going to split after or nothing. They're still good. Next up, Devon came out, and he was calling out Abyss. Then Joseph Parks, Abyss's brother, came out, said how he didn't like what Devon was doing. Ended up going to the ring. Both of them kind of brawled for a little bit. Devon was going to hit Joseph Parks with a chair, and then Abyss's music hit, but no Abyss. Devon says, "I'm going to go find him." Next up, we had Samoa Joe versus Robbie E., which was a squash match. Robbie E. had little to no offense at all. Samoa Joe, this was also a qualifying match, I forgot to mention. And Samoa Joe became the third member for the TNA Bound for Glory match. The first member, I believe his name is Jay Bradley. I honestly have no idea who that is or where he came from. So I guess we'll find that out. I'll find that out. Now after that, let me go through my notes. Next up was the number one thing most people were looking forward to, which was Rampage Jackson. Now, Jeremy Borash introduced Rampage. Rampage came out, played the face card. Crowd was going crazy for him. Basically said, "I want to be the best. To be the best, I have to beat the best." And immediately after saying that, who hits the ring? Kurt Angle. Now, I wasn't surprised. I actually predicted this. I predicted Kurt Angle to end up facing Rampage. I didn't know it was going to happen this soon, but I knew it was going to happen eventually, because Kurt Angle's background being the Olympic wrestler and whatnot, and possibly wanting to go into MMA. At some point, he was actually supposed to be on the Ultimate Fighter Season 10, but didn't pass the physical requirements, which is pretty crazy. But anyhow, Kurt Angle came out and said, "You want to be the best? Well, you're going to have to beat the best. And that's me." Both of them had a stare down. Kurt Angle left the ring. Set up ultimately a feud going between them two. At first, I wasn't too sure on what I thought about Rampage coming into TNA, but working with Kurt Angle, they'll make it work. I think it'll be solid. This also is good for TNA. It brings in MMA fans that maybe had never watched TNA or thought, hey, I'm a big Rampage fan, why don't I just check out this wrestling company and see what happens? So it's a win-win for TNA. Next up, we had the tag team match, which was my favorite match of the evening, which was Austin Aries and Robert Roode and Kenny King versus James Storm, Crimson, and Chris Sabin. It was a solid match. It was really fast-paced. Both teams got in offense. I was surprised that Crimson got as much offense as he did, because I figured with him being the minor name out of everybody, he wasn't going to see too much time. But he got in some good offense, and I was quite impressed. He had a nice springboard suplex on Austin Aries. So overall, it was a solid match. There was some little spot. Chris Sabin had a spot, high flying. He had a night, finished it off with an enziguri, and then his Hail Sabin finisher. And Storm, Crimson, and Sabin took the match. Next up, we had the Knockouts match between Taylor Hendrick and Mickie James. It was nothing special. It was a match. It was better than the WWE Divas match easily, but it wasn't a match where, you had to catch it or whatnot. Nothing memorable. Mickie James came out with the win. Now we had going back to Devon, we have a backstage segment. Devon was looking for Abyss, and Abyss attacks Devon, stands over him, holds the title over him, and then walks away. I easily suspect both of them fight for the TV title at Bound for Glory, if not sooner, which I'm okay to see. I don't know how I feel about that matchup. It's not too exciting, but who knows? Both of them could put on a good match. Now, last but not least, we had the main event. The main event, which I was kind of unsure about due to the fact that it was a ladder grab the hammer match. But it turned out fairly well. It was a back and forth kind of match throughout the whole time. Jeff Hardy came out the gate guns a-blazing, got in just offense. Bully Ray had no offense within the first couple minutes. Hardy was rolling, which I wasn't surprised. His first match back. That's generally how it goes when a wrestler returns. Then Bully Ray started his offense. He got in his shots, and then it went back and forth from there. Some may say it was a little slow. I think it was okay. It didn't need to be too fast-paced. One spot that was really funny was Bubba Ray, or Bully Ray, was in the corner with his legs spread open, and Jeff Hardy grabbed the ladder and hit him straight in the nuts, and Bully Ray starts screaming, my balls, and he was just screaming, my balls, and for the rest of the match, he kept grabbing back at him, and I don't know if he was really seriously felt some pain from it, but it made it seem really realistic, and it fit perfectly with it. Very funny. And Bully Ray ended up getting the win. That's what I was going to mention, is Jeff Hardy was climbing to the top. Bully Ray was down, gets up, and instead of most of the time, usually seeing a ladder match, the person that's on the bottom trying to knock the other person down, they easily, push the ladder down all slowly and dramatically. Bully Ray just grabbed the ladder and just basically threw it straight down, and Jeff Hardy landed pretty hard. It was different because it's something I usually don't see. You usually see the slow tilting of the ladder, or I'm going to hit you in the back and throw you down kind of thing. But he just took the ladder out from under him, and Hardy hit the ground hard, and it was nice. Like, you could feel like there was some pain there. Bully Ray wins, and he ends up winning. He's about to hit Hardy with the hammer, and then Hardy counters. Hardy's about to hit Bully Ray. Bully Ray runs away. Hardy's hurt. He needs help getting taken out from the ref. The camera cuts to Bully Ray running running backstage, and it's kind of like he's looking for somebody. Then he runs into Brooke Hogan, and then Hulk Hogan walks straight up, and then they kind of stare at each other, and then Bully Ray just runs away, and that was the end of TNA of Impact. It was a really odd ending. I'm not really sure what they're gonna kind of do with that, but I imagine it's gonna be Jeff Hardy versus Bully Ray at Bound for Glory. I mean, it was kind of basically said by Hogan, but knowing TNA, you don't know what's gonna happen between then. I just don't know how it's gonna happen. I would imagine possibly, who knows, maybe Hogan is also he's the new vice president of Aces of Eight, since they don't have one anymore. Or maybe it's Brooke Hogan that's the vice president, something like that, conspiracy kind of thing. Since, you saw what happened at Lockdown with, Bully ended up being the president of Aces of Eights. That just leaves Brooke Hogan, his wife, or Hulk Hogan to be the vice president. So we'll see what happens. It was a pretty decent Raw. And a little tidbit, or I said Raw, I'm thinking of Mondays. It was a decent Impact. And a little tidbit that I took from it was when Rampage came out and Kurt Angle came out after, and they were both doing their stare down, the crowd gave the Briscoes "Man Up" chant. They started chanting "Man Up, Man Up, Man Up," and it was pretty funny that they started chanting that. Showed that there was some Ring of Honor fans there, which is pretty cool. That's about it from this TNA review. It was a solid review. If I would give it it was a solid TNA. I would have to give it about a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's worth a watch. If you're just looking for matches, watch the tag team match, watch the main event, and watch that Angle and Rampage segment. It was really solid. Check back with me Monday. We'll be here for a Raw review. Thank you.